In this video, I'm going to show you the key steps to start a really strong foundation to play the saxophone. The saxophone is a great instrument to play. It sounds amazing, everyone's going to give you compliments if you can play it well, but to play it well, you need to have a really strong foundation in how to set up your saxophone, because if your saxophone setup doesn't sound good and you're not producing the best sound, you're going to sound no matter how many like twiddly fingers you can play. If you can get a really strong foundation with your embouchure, that's to do with your mouth, how you put your mouth, and you've put your right mouthpiece on, the right size of reeds so that you can blow freely, and then you've got your sling. The sling's really important to get it the right size and the right position for you. So without further ado, let's dive in. The mouthpiece of the saxophone looks like this. That's a metal mouthpiece. This is what I use all the time. And then you can use that type of, that's a 3D printed mouthpiece. There we go. So the first thing that you need to put on your mouthpiece is called reeds. Reeds come in different materials. You've got your traditional wooden ones, which looks like that. And it comes in a packet like that. Well, actually, it comes in and some of them come in a box. And then when you open it up, it comes in this really fresh foil material. And then you open it up, and it comes into this plastic container. Now this is just to keep it fresh. This is a really important step to getting the right sound. So this really needs to be prepared before you put it on the mouthpiece, because a dry wooden reed will just be really hard in resistance to get a sound out. So you need to prepare it. Now you can stick it in water, like if you've got a wee tub of water, but I recommend, for out of quickness, to stick it in your mouth and make sure you get all your saliva. I know that sounds, you put all your saliva and soak it. So you get as much saliva as you can, and you stick it in your mouth like this. And with your tongue, you get all the saliva around it and make sure it's really wet. There we go. That probably sounds horrible, but you need to do that. So I would do that for a good few minutes and soak the reed. Remember, this is a really important step. Now before I put the reed on, I want to talk about the sizes of reeds. Now you've got ones that start off with 1 to 1.5 to 2 to 2.5, and all these other wee bits in between, so 2 3/4, and you've got up to 3 to 3.5 to 4, 4.5. I don't know if there's a 5. If there's a 5, God help you. But the sizes of the reeds are depict the thickness or thinness of that reed. Now I recommend for people that's just starting new to play the saxophone to get a size 1.5 reed. At max 2, but size 2. But I think 1.5 is the perfect size, because you're going to be able to instantly, or you should instantly, get a sound out of it, and you're not going to get frustrated with yourself. You shouldn't get too much dizziness either, because it's free blowing. Okay, so this is a 2.5, like I said. I used to be on a 3.5 when I was at university, and I was always struggling. It doesn't mean you're a weak player if you have to go down a size. It just means that that's what your mouth and your lung capacity wants. It's not that you're a better player if you can play a higher one. That's just not the case. So don't let anyone fool you to say, oh, you're a 3, you're a 2.5. Nah, bull, absolute bull. So remember, when you're buying online your reeds, look at the sizes. If you're going in a music store, get the reed size that's right for you. Remember, start off with a lower one, and if you think it's too easy, you're blowing too easy, move one up and see if that's more comfortable. But it might not be comfortable, and you just stay with the size that you've got. Now this is a ligature. This is really important to keep your reed on your mouthpiece. Now you've got the screw at the top or the bottom you put it in, and you tighten it up so the reed is secure, okay? So I'll show you, I'll demonstrate what it's like to put on and what the right position to put this ligature on, okay? So start off with your wooden reed or whatever reed you're using. So you've got this, you've got your mouthpiece, and now you've got your ligature. This is the 3 key elements to getting a good sound. Okay, so you put your reed flat on the mouthpiece where the open hole is. Now I totally recommend that you just go slightly below the tip of the mouthpiece. So wait, I'll show you. So like that. And that's what it should look like. See that? It's just slightly below the tip. Get your ligature and make sure it's the correct size for the mouthpiece. So I've got a tenor mouthpiece, which means I need a nice bigger ligature. If you've got an alto, you'll have a smaller one. If you've got a bari, you'll have a big one. So you stick that onto the mouthpiece. Make sure, I would hold it with your thumb and your finger to keep it in place. So this particular ligature, the screw goes on top of the mouthpiece, but some ligatures, like the metal ligatures, this screw bit would go where your reed is getting placed, okay? But this one goes on top. So you gently put it in and go to the middle of the thicker bit of the reed. So down the bottom middle, like so. Make sure it's positioned well and you've not moved it too much. Tighten this bit up a bit and screw, so you're going to screw like this. Screw it on relatively tight so that it doesn't come off. Just double check it to see if it comes off. Now that is you set up your mouthpiece, which is the most important part of the saxophone. There you go. Now I'm not a smoker, but I used to be, but this is cigarette papers, and this is a pro tip, because see when you first play the saxophone and when you're constantly playing the saxophone at gigs, when you get better and better and you're playing for real, your mouth, see it in there, well, this is not going to be nice, see the part of your lip here, this gets really sore because your teeth are digging into your lips. Now you might get put off when you're first starting to play the saxophone because it's so sore. The more and more you practice, your mouth's going to get sorer. So that never really fades. Your lip will get tougher during time. I can assure you that your lip will get tougher and not as sore. But if you play all the time, like I do, your lip's going to be sore. So I recommend that you get a couple. Now these are king size ones, but you can get normal size ones, which is half the packet. Now this is what one looks like. Okay. Now I recommend taking about 4 out the packet. They're really thin. Okay. So you've got 4 of these. Now the best thing to do here is to place them inside each other. So like that. So this, put it in here. Slowly wrap that one around that one. Then the last one here. You can do it so many different ways. Have a play at it yourself. This is just how I do it. So place that one in there and fold it over. So once you've put them all in each other, I recommend that you fold it once, half it once, and then half it again, because that's too big for your mouth. Right, so half it again. Now this is what it's going to look like. First of all, that's going to be, you can't put that in your mouth straight away. You need to soak it. Like a reed, you need to soak it so that it sticks to your teeth and it doesn't come up when you're playing. So, give it a good lick, stick it in your mouth. Okay. And just bend it slightly with your tongue to do that. But once it's in your mouth, put it between your teeth and bend it. Okay? Because it needs to be shaped behind your teeth and in front of your teeth. Now, the whole purpose in this is to protect the hardness of your teeth going on your under lip, okay? Your bottom lip. Stick this part at the back of your teeth. And that, fold it over, then fold it over and stick it to the front of your teeth. Okay. Push it down with your fingers. Make sure they're clean. That's it. Okay, make sure they're all wet and they're stuck. Now that's not going anywhere. No matter if I flick my tongue, it's not going anywhere at all. You can dig down. Now put your lip over your teeth and it's got a lot more cushion to it. So it won't be as sore when you're practicing. Yeah, it feels good. Now I do this all the time at gigs. People, when I smile for them or when I speak to them, they probably go, oh, it's on her mouth. Because I'm slightly white there and yellow the top half. But I don't care because my mouth's feeling good. Okay? And then once you're done, just take it out and put it somewhere safe or bin it if you're done. Now the next thing I want to talk to you about is the sling. Now this is an important key factor to getting a good sound, believe it or not, and I'll explain why. So this holds the saxophone. You put it around your neck and it holds the saxophone with this, right, I'll show you, this is like a wee clip. You pull this down, this wee lever down, and clip it onto your saxophone, okay? Before I show you that, I want to show you put it on. So you put it behind you, put it around your neck, like so. Get your hair out of the way if you have hair. If you're bald, you know, it's so much easier. Or if you've got short hair, you're a man. Or a woman. Right, okay. Right, so get your hair out the way. And then, so you want it to be in the centre. So this bit needs to be the centre. There's no point in putting the saxophone like this. Get it in the centre. Now this, all the different slings can look different, but they all do the same purpose. So you've got a bit here that you pull up or down. So you've got this. You can adjust right up, well, to there. Then you can pull it right down. So see if you want to get your saxophone sling off, you pull it down and then put it off, because you're not going to get it off that way. So many people I have actually seen in videos, and I feel bad for them because they don't know the importance of the sling and the positioning of the sling when you've got your saxophone on you. I have seen a number of people wear their saxophone slings right down and they're hunched over playing the saxophone. Number one, if you hunch over, you're not going to get a good sound. You need to sit upright or stand upright, and you should always be like this. You shouldn't be slumped over. It's not going to produce a good sound. It doesn't look good, and your mouth, your position of your mouth is not going to be right on your saxophone either. So all of these things, they're not good. So I'm going to show you how to get a good setup with your sling. So get your saxophone. This is a tenor saxophone. I'll put this on. This is the neck, the crook that you need to put your mouthpiece on. Now I like to blow on this and get it a wee bit wet, just so it's easier to get onto the saxophone, or you can use cork grease around it. So you stick it in like this, just turn it like that. Now make sure that this rod here, which is your octave key, make sure that that's under this bit here, your octave key. It needs to be under it. Sometimes when you put your saxophone crook on, you can put it on, wait, I'll show you. Because I've done it a few times, there's no sound in it, my saxophone went, oh my god, my saxophone is broke. My saxophone is broke. But you do this. Now see that? You can't play that octave key, and your saxophone is going to sound terrible. So, because that can't move, so release that. So make sure this octave key is under this bit of the crook. Okay. Now, wait, I'll quickly put this mouthpiece on, right? So once you put your mouthpiece on like that, so you just slip it in like so, to half your cork size probably. Right, now clip this clip onto this designated hole for your saxophone. This is where you put your sling. Okay. Now, so as I've said, like some people wear their sling really, really low in their mouth, the whole shape of their mouth is wrong. Or they're hunched over like this. This actual sling doesn't go further down, but there's slings that can go really, really down, and you're like this, and you're hunched over, your shoulders are hunched over. So you want, the important part of this is, you want to pull this to a good size. If you go up too high, this is what happens, right? Too high, you can't possibly play like that. Well, you can't possibly play well like that. So you put it into the middle or wherever is comfortable to the direction level to your mouth. So yeah, that's comfortable. I would say that's comfortable. So that's like slightly up, but you play about with it. But please, 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 you need to have your saxophone looking like this. Not like this. Or not like this. Okay, so it needs to be absolutely level to your mouth. So when you pick up your saxophone, it's going straight to your mouth. You're not needing to bend down. You're not needing to adjust your head down. Okay. Right, now I am not going to show you how to properly play the saxophone in this video. This is just merely showing you the basic setup, the good solid foundation to get started. In the next video, if you would like another video developing your sound, please comment down below. I was planning to do a second video for blowing the saxophone, how to get practice getting long notes to sustain the sound of the saxophone and to get so it's not shaky. Please comment down below if you would like to see that. Okay, so I'm going to talk quickly about embouchure. Now, embouchure is another key problem or mistake that people just don't know what they're doing, and down the line they're not developing because their embouchure doesn't sound good. Their mouth position, they've got it all wrong. So there's many different, you've got classical where your embouchure would be very strict and tight if you want a classical sound. I'm more a jazzy pop player, so my mouth's going to look a wee bit more different, but I'm going to show you what I know and what's going to be easy for you. So first of all, this part of the top of your mouthpiece there is where you're going to place your teeth, your two front teeth, so like that. So that's going to lay on like this. Lower lip underneath there, that needs to curve round your teeth, your bottom teeth. So like that. Okay. So I recommend just start here. This is where your lip should really go. You can adjust, don't go far down because you don't want to be eating the saxophone. Don't go far down, just stay round about the middle here, okay? And you're going to put your bottom lip on it. Okay, maybe you can see that. Now, you're going to put your teeth on top, like that. Then you're going to close your mouth. Now, you don't ever want to puff your cheeks out. A trumpet player maybe would puff their cheeks out if they've got a big note to play. I don't know the ins and outs of a trumpet. But saxophone players generally, they don't puff out. You're trying to keep all the air within your cheeks. Not that, don't just, you need to keep it relatively tight. Well, you know, don't tight, but you need to keep it quite firm. That's what we're going to look like. Now your tongue is resting on this. When you blow and physically play a note, your tongue's not going to be on the reed at all. Another way to put your mouth, instead of putting all like this, is to put it slightly with your lip here. Put it slightly on the reed like that. Your teeth still underneath your lip, but you're giving your lip more, the flesh part of your lip, more of the reed, like so. Make it strong. Make sure there's no air coming through your wee holes right here. Now, you might feel dizzy when you play the saxophone at first because the vibration of the mouthpiece onto the saxophone can feel really funny in your mouth. But don't worry, just keep on practicing and you'll get used to it, and it won't be as buzzy anymore because you'll get used to the sensation. But the dizziness part of it's certainly the type of reed you're going to use. If you use a really, really high reed, like a size 4 or a size 3.5 or size 3, just depends what you're used to, it can be really hard to blow the saxophone. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you understood everything that I was explaining about. It's so important to get these foundations, like I said, when you first play the saxophone. Please watch my second video on how to blow the saxophone, and I'll give you a few tips here and there to get a good solid sound straight away. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.